It's Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. This morning, after I got back from an hour of jiu-jitsu, I sat down and I was just writing down some notes. And something that I was thinking about the past couple days is friendships, the circle of people that you hang with. And in my opinion, weak friends are a liability, strong friends are an asset. And I think we're in a time where we really need to evaluate the people in our circle. We really need to evaluate our friends. We need to be surrounding ourselves with solid people. You need a good circle of friends, because the more I watch on the news what's happening around this country, the amount of crime, the violence, Philadelphia, Chicago, LA, New York, you name it. People burning cars, jumping on cars, smashing store windows, assaulting people, you name it. It's incredible the time we're living in right now and what we are seeing. People are so lawless and nobody's coming to save you. This is why you've got to be prepared. And I watch people on a lot of these YouTube videos and they walk around and talk every day about inflation. They talk about the banks. They talk about how bad the economy is, but they never talk about what's happening socially and how they're going to protect themselves when we watch society completely buckle and break down. They never tell you how they're preparing, because they're not. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the economy has collapsed. It's going to get much worse. We all know that. Inflation is not going away. The economy is not going to improve. And this means society is going to continue to break down. You're going to see continued lawlessness. And this is going to affect a lot of people. And you need to be prepared for this. You need to be training for this. You need to be surrounding yourself with the right people, strong people. People who are training. You need to be around people who know how to fight. Plain and simple. Right now, you need to be training yourself. You need to learn how to fight. You need tactics. You need to have self-defense skills. You need to know how to handle certain tools. You need to be able to handle yourself, your hands. You have to have skills, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, things like that. This is so important right now, and so many people don't want to talk about it because they're scared. They don't want confrontation. Okay, nobody does. But what if you're forced to deal with confrontation? What are you going to do if you have no skills, no training? You're going to be in big trouble. And I know people personally who just make excuses. They have a sore back, they have a sore toe, they have a jammed finger, they can't train. And so, what's going to happen to these people when they meet confrontation one day? I mean, take a look out the window, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening right now. We've never seen a society so broken, so divided, so lawless than the one we're seeing right now. You need people in your life that are working, right? Who have jobs, who are motivated, who have skill sets, people who are awake. Do not be hanging around lazy people, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to rub off on you. You need to be hanging around people who are training, people who are motivated, people who are working, people who are awake. This is what's going to continue to rub off on you. You hang out with people who do drugs, people who are alcoholics, people who have addictions, people who are lazy. That's going to rub off on you. You do not want to be near any of this. You want to be around tough people, prepared people, people who can fight. Take a look. You can just look at people. A lot of people out there just talk, but they don't walk the walk. They walk, they talk, but they don't walk the walk. They look weak. They look out of shape. They don't look motivated. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you right now, there is no pill that is going to get you in better shape. There is no pill that is going to fix your problems. There is no pill that is going to make you a tougher person, a more dedicated, motivated person. What is going to is hard work, a good diet, and training. There is no substitute for hard work, training, and a good diet, period. The pill is for lazy people, ladies and gentlemen. If people go, oh, I need a pill for this, I need a pill for that, that pretty much tells you they're lazy. The easy way out. There is no easy way. That stuff doesn't work. What does work is hard work, training, diet, working on skills, and being awake and aware of what's happening. So I was thinking about this morning. You know, make sure that you bring skills and you bring things to the table, skills to the table, just like people should be bringing skills to the table for you. It's not a, you know, it doesn't go just one way. You know, make sure that your friends have something to offer, that they have skill sets, and make sure you offer something to your friends too in return, that you have skill sets. And the more skills that your circle of friends have, the stronger you're going to be. There are no lone wolves, ladies and gentlemen, that are going to survive what's coming. The stronger your group, the stronger the circle is, the better off you're going to be. While I'm making this video, look who showed up here. She's got to say hi. Right here. So Old Nugget here. Old Nugget. She's going to be... I think she just turned a year, going to be turning a year here, about a year in a week. In a week, she'll be a year. But anyways, Nugget has a good circle of friends. She's in good hands. Don't ignore what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. People don't want to face their fears. They don't want to face the truth, the facts, because it's scary. This is the time right now to be preparing for this stuff, not when it happens to you. This is the time to learn how to fight. This is the time to get your skill sets. It's the time you should be spending at the range, at the gym, on the mat. This is the time you should be spending at the store getting extra food, extra water, extra preparations, and all of those things. So I wanted to really stress that again today. Careful who you're surrounding yourself with. Stay away from the people who are just talking. Surround yourselves with the people who are walking the walk, not just talking, because there's a lot of talkers out there. And I look at these people who talk a lot, and I know they have no skills. And those are not the people who are going to have your back. And you know, if you got into a situation, those are the first people to run. Those people are going to do nothing. They can't. They've never been in a fight. They don't know how to fight. They have no skills. These people are going to leave you high and dry, and they're going to be a liability. So don't surround yourself with weak people or weak friends. Now, shifting gears, let's get into a little bit of what's happening in the economy. Fed sees more rate hikes ahead, but at a slower pace, meeting minutes show. So the Fed minutes today, they're telling us that almost all the members on the Fed see future rate hikes coming. So I think we're at about an 80% chance right now for a July rate hike. I think we'll at least get one more after that. But is it going to be enough? Is it going to really do anything? Because I don't really see it doing too much right now, because everything continues to be a lot more expensive than it was a couple years ago. And here's another warning sign today. 10-year Treasury yield jumps as traders absorb Fed meeting minutes. I just checked, the 10-year sitting at 3.94%, 30-year fixed mortgage sitting at 7.1% according to bankrate.com. So it is going to get a lot more expensive to service debt. It's going to get more expensive to borrow money. You want to buy a car, buy a house, service the credit cards, you're going to be paying a lot more, and it's not going down anytime soon. They're going to hold rates higher for longer, and we're going to continue to see more rate hikes. The economiccollapse.com, more than 105 million working age Americans do not have a job right now. What do you think about this? I mean, this is a startling number when you think about the enormity of this number. During the Great Recession of 2008-2009, that number never even got up to 90 million. And here we are sitting at 105 million. You compare this to 2008-2009, there's no comparison. Inflation, debt, people out of work, leadership, everything. The health of this economy is so much sicker than it was back in 2008. We have never witnessed so many working age Americans that are not employed right now. John Williams, shadowstats.com, estimates that the real unemployment number in the U.S. is somewhere around 25%. Is that true? Is the unemployment number, they're telling us, what is it, 3.7%? That's the official number. John Williams says it's hovering somewhere around 25%. That's a big number. What do you think? Where is the real unemployment number in America right now? Is it near 25, or is it 3.7%? Is it 5? Is it 10? I have no idea. But according to this article, They were mentioning people in this article who have been applying for jobs. Some people applying, making hundreds of applications, filling out hundreds of applications for a job and getting no response, no callbacks. So here's another question too. We're told that there's about 10.6 million job openings out there. How many of these jobs are real? We've been hearing about this for months. People applying for jobs, getting no response. And you have to begin to wonder how many of these jobs are fake, just like the data that we're being given to is completely fake. So how many jobs are real? How many are not? What's the real unemployment numbers? I have no idea, but I do know this. Things do not seem to be adding up. When you have 105 million working age Americans not in the workforce, that's a big problem no matter what. Wolfstreet.com, commercial real estate nightmare for commercial mortgage-backed security holders. Office mortgage delinquency rate has biggest 6-month spike ever, and it's just the beginning. The past 6 months, the plunging delinquency rate has gone from 1.6% to 4.5%, and we are just at the beginning of this. This is really, you know, a concerning number, and it's a concerning issue because how many regional banks made loans, commercial loans, and what's going to happen to the bondholders? The delinquency rate does not include properties that are still paying interest but are past due on paying off the mortgage on maturity date. It's only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know who these people are who will tell us that the economy is doing just fine, that it's not that bad. It's actually really, really good. I hope they get help. I really do. The Hedge today, U.S. factory orders declined year over year for first time since October 2020. Now, here's one from CNBC today, and I just shake my head. I have no idea. Somebody please explain this to me. General Motors second quarter sales increased 18.8% as supply chain stabilizes. Now, we all know, I've been watching the videos, I've been reading the data, and I apologize if you hear some snoring, it's Nugget, but car repossessions are absolutely exploding, record levels. I mean, you have banks paying premiums just to get their cars back because they can't wait. They can't get them to auction fast enough because they know that the used car market is dropping. But I just drove by some dealer lots today. They're still empty. I mean, mostly all they have is used cars. You don't see a lot of used cars. We've been told that a lot of the car manufacturers are closing plants down a couple days a week just to keep the inventory down so that they can charge more per vehicle. So none of this makes any sense to me whatsoever. Plants aren't running at 100%. Lots are empty. Car repo is exploding. Average new car, $48,000. Interest rates on those loans going up at record levels. So how in the world is General Motors pulling off a second quarter increase of 18.8%? I don't get it. Somebody please explain that to me. I have no idea. Again, something just doesn't add up here. Here's another one today. This one coming from CNBC. 30% of Americans say tipping culture is out of control as some businesses agree to scrap it. Yesterday, I went to Dutch Brothers for iced coffee, and they asked me if I wanted to leave a tip, and as usual, I said no. And the girl actually held up the iPad and said, "Well, I have to physically press the button and say no." Before it was like, "Oh no, you know, do you want to leave a tip?" No, okay. They just ask you. Yesterday, they wanted me to actually physically press the button, really put the pressure on me. You know, like, oh, maybe I won't push the button. Maybe I'll actually press the tip button. But they put the pressure on me, and I had absolutely no problem by pressing no tip. Why would I leave you a tip when I'm paying you more than I should for a cup of coffee? You're 7 feet away making the coffee. What am I paying for? By the way, that cup of coffee went up 20 cents over the last couple weeks alone. But what's the tip for? I mean, when are these businesses going to realize you're lucky that we're doing business with you? You're lucky we're paying this overpriced amount for food or a cup of coffee. It's 4th of July. I just felt like a cup of coffee. I was out and about. So, you know, I paid for it and it was good. And I like Dutch Brothers. But when are our businesses going to realize that, hey, we better not turn off our clientele because they could go somewhere else. But to overprice on food and coffee and then ask for more because you're making it, what are we paying for? Now, if I sit down at a restaurant and I get good service, I'm going to leave a good tip. But if I go in for takeout and you just pass the food over the counter, why would I give you a tip? I mean, when are these businesses going to start thanking us for doing business? You don't need a tip. You need to start thanking us for coming to your establishments and keeping you open and keeping the lights on and allowing you to employ people. Again, I have no problem saying no. And people need to stand up and say enough's enough, no more. We're already paying too much for this stuff. You're not getting any more. In fact, you should all start giving us better service, better quality food, bigger portions. That's what you should be doing, not begging us for more money. New York Post, DoorDash delivery man fired after cursing out woman over 25%. I watched this video yesterday. I'm sure many of you have seen this. You can Google it. But this DoorDash delivery man walks up with a pizza, nice house, $20 pizza. Lady gives him a $5 tip. That's a 25% tip, ladies and gentlemen. He said, oh, for living in such a nice house, you know, this is a garbage tip. And she goes, you know, have a nice day. And he tells her to F off. Whew, man. Unbelievable, man. I could lose my mind over something like that. But I mean, if you came to my house and I give you a 25% tip and told me to F off, man, oh man, that could be an issue. I mean, I would have to really show some self-control, I guess. But unbelievable, unbelievable. So I guess maybe like if she gave him a $10 tip and a 50% tip, that would have been okay. Here's another one today from Fox Business. Tiny home builders help Americans save space. Money in small but mighty houses. The global tiny home market is expected to generate nearly $4.2 billion by the year 2027. You will own nothing and be happy, ladies and gentlemen. They are conditioning people right now to own nothing, to live in a 400 square foot shoebox. And they're going to try and make it sound trendy. Like, look at it, how nice this is. You can go live, you know, on a nice property or in a nice little community by a creek. You'll have a nice little layout in your home. You might be surprised, they said, just how comfortable and cozy it is to live within 400 square feet. Wow, it says you can actually fit a full-size bed and a flat screen TV, a mini fridge and a microwave in these places. Wow, isn't that great, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that great? You'll own nothing and be happy. You'll have your little shoebox next to the creek. It's incredible how people are being fooled. It really, really is. And I'm not saying that, you know, everybody has to live in a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot house, but, you know, 400 square foot house, it's not heading in the right direction, is it? It really isn't. You know, where people used to, you know, have a backyard and a garage and a washer and dryer. No, you're going to have a microwave and a mini fridge and a full-size bed with a flat screen on the wall. And this is awesome. How trendy and how nice is that? I'm going to finish with this last article today. This one definitely hits home. It's titled, Escape the Heat and Outrageous Energy Bills This Summer as 2/3 of Americans may see electrical blackouts. You know, here's another question, and please feel free to comment down below. How are people affording this? I can tell you right now out here, the other day it was 117 degrees. We had a fuse go out on Sunday night. Fuse went out on the air conditioning unit Sunday night, about 10, 11 o'clock at night. Couldn't get anybody here till Monday morning. It was 117 degrees that day. It was literally 90 some odd degrees in here. Rough. But, you know, you deal with it. We're prepared. You know, obviously, you know, we still had, you know, electricity, but the fuse blew in the unit. But it was uncomfortable, but we made the best of it and got through it. But think about if there was no electricity. What if there was no running water? What if the refrigerator didn't work? What if you couldn't get ice cubes? What if the fan didn't work? Are you prepared to deal with this? And another thing, are you prepared to deal with the cost of energy? Right now, it's not uncommon to get a $500 to a $1,000 electricity bill here where I live in this area. It's not uncommon at all. And if you live in a really, really big house, you could definitely be paying over $2,000 a month on your electricity bill running, your air conditioning unit 24 hours a day. Again, we were at 117 degrees, 116 degrees, 115 degrees, 3 days. And when it's 98 degrees at midnight, that just tells you how hot it is. And it's going to get hotter in July. So, I don't know how people are affording these energy bills, but they're not going down. They're going up. And we're going to have a hot summer here. And most of the country beat us to it. Most of the country in June was having record-breaking temperatures. We were actually really comfortable here. But now, once July hit, we're beginning to really hit the triple digits here. But how are people affording the cost of energy and paying these utility bills? I have no idea. Groceries going up, utility bills going up, taxes going up, health insurance going up, auto insurance going up, property taxes going up, HOAs going up. It's all going up. How are people keeping up with this? And how much longer can we go before something breaks? I think a lot of people are at their breaking point right now. I think a lot of people have already been broken, but because of credit cards, they're hanging in there. I don't see it getting better, ladies and gentlemen. Today, again, just some of the things we're discussing. The main thing I think we better be concerned about is what we're going to see socially. This is really becoming more and more concerning. I'm watching more and more of this on the news, what's happening all over America, and the lawlessness that is taking place, and the danger that it puts so many good people in. So, if there's one thing I can advise today, and again to this gentleman last week who needs more advice, get self-defense skills. Get self-defense skills. If you carry a weapon, you better know how to use that weapon. If you don't have a weapon, you better know how to use your hands. You better know how to wrestle. You better know how to take care of business, ladies and gentlemen. And look, if you're 80 or 90 years old, I know that that's different. But there's no excuse if you're young, if you're in somewhat decent shape, if you can walk and talk and move and you're in bad shape, this is more reason why you need to get in better shape, because they're going to be looking for you. You're a target. You're weak. You're easy pickings. And you need to get in better physical shape. So how do you do that? Go learn how to fight. That's going to get you in the best shape of your life. It's going to build confidence. And people are going to notice that you're not a target, and you won't be a target because you're going to look like the person that's going to fight back. You look like the person that's going to be a hard target. And bad people avoid hard targets. They go to the easy targets. They go to people who are on their phones, the people that walk all hunched over, the people that look like they haven't been in the sun in a year, the people who are very weak and fragile, who just watch Netflix all day and sit on the couch, or very, very obese and out of shape, can't move quick. Once they fall down, they can't get up. That's who they're looking for. They did a study with a bunch of felons and how they picked out their targets, and they just 2,000 of them, a majority agreed. It's how people walked, how they carried themselves. They could tell who was easy and who wasn't. And they don't want a fair fight, ladies and gentlemen. They're looking just like a pack of hyenas. They're not going to go attack a big male lion. They're looking for a wounded animal, or they're going to go find a smaller animal and surround it and try to take it out. Weak, wounded. That's what they're looking for. Don't come across as a weak, wounded human being. Come across as a strong, confident human being, and you're going to avoid a lot of problems. So, on top of that, you're going to be in better shape. You're going to live longer, less chance of disease, less chance of cancer, more confidence. There's nothing negative about getting in better shape. There's a lot negative about being out of shape. You're going to have a shorter lifespan. Your chances of cancer and disease skyrocket, and you just don't feel good about yourself. So get out there, get in better shape. I'm not going to sit here and rant all day. This isn't a channel on physical health, but I want everybody to be in the best physical health they can be in, the best financial health they can be in, and of course, the #1 asset is spiritual. with God. Be in the best spiritual shape you can be in. Be walking close to God. Be praying to God. Ask God for protection and guidance. And pray for this country. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Have a phenomenal day. Make sure you're out training today. Make sure you're out preparing today. And give all thanks to God for everything He's blessed you with, from your family, your friends, to the food, to a roof over your head, everything, to your health. God bless.